Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5.
It's 5 o'clock, and first tonight, developing news.
Dad was yelling at my kids, my wife.
The town of Plainfield is dealing with tremendous grief tonight after a fast-moving fire took the life of a 6-year-old girl. Good evening, I'm Dennis House.
And I'm Denise DeCenzo. It's a story we first brought you as breaking news this morning. Channel 3 New London Bureau Chief Kevin Hogan is live at the mobile newsroom as a community tries to heal. Kevin?
Dennis and Denise, as you can imagine, this community is heartbroken tonight. The LaHaye family moved into this brand new house back in July. It was built by the community, by Habitat for Humanity in southeast Connecticut. And again tonight, the community is coming together to help this family grieve.
State and local fire marshals literally dug through ash and debris today, searching for a cause for last night's fast-moving fire in this brand new house in Windsor Avenue. It claimed the life of a 6-year-old girl. The LaHaye family moved here in July.
Dad was screaming, oh my God, and...
Georgiani Gagliardo says it was a horrific scene about 10:45 when firefighters arrived. First responders rushed in to get members of one family out of this 3-bedroom home, pulling the mother and her 18-month-old boy through the window. Smoke and flames consuming the structure. The father, who was visiting next door at a neighbor's house at the time when the fire began, returned to the scene again this morning.
Sad, very sad. Really, things like this should never happen.
A 6-year-old girl was found deceased. Her mother suffered burns and was airlifted to a hospital in Providence. Her infant was treated and released, as well as 2 Plainfield officers who suffered smoke inhalation.
Very stressful for all of us. You never think it's going to happen to your fire department or to your members, but this is a new house. It was just built 3 months ago.
The house was built by Habitat for Humanity of southeast Connecticut. In a statement to Eyewitness News, Habitat Executive Director Terry O'Rourke says, "We first and foremost are thinking of the family, keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. We ask the community to do this as well. Out of respect for family privacy, we ask that the extended community please pray for them."
Now, that 6-year-old was a first grader at a local elementary school. The school superintendent's office telling Eyewitness News tonight that they provided grief counseling to staff as well as students. In the meantime, the community of Plainfield is coming together. More so now, they're starting a fund drive for the family. We'll have more on that on Eyewitness News starting at 6. Live the mobile newsroom in Plainfield, Kevin Hogan, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Such a sad story. Thank you, Kevin. And Connecticut water officials say because of that fire, some people in Plainfield could experience discolored water after high-pressure water flows stirred up sediment in the water main. They're checking the area. They say they'll flush the water main if necessary. And a reminder to stay here for continuing coverage on this developing story. You can also find the latest on our WFSB app. Developing news now in Meriden. Extra police officers will be at Maloney High School tomorrow after a threat. A note was found in the boys' locker room indicating there would be, quote, a school shooting tomorrow. Police do not believe the threat is credible, but they say they will be beefing up security and increasing patrols at the school tomorrow as a precaution.
And another school story for you. A scary afternoon for some middle school students in Glastonbury. They watched in horror as one of their classmates was hit by a pickup truck right outside school.
Fortunately, the student will be okay. Channel 3's Roger Susanna joins us now live in Glastonbury with the latest now. Roger?
Well, Denise and Dennis, I can tell you that investigators here at the Glastonbury Police Department and everyone else is breathing a huge sigh of relief right now. But it really was a very scary afternoon, especially because this whole thing played out just steps away from Smith Middle School. I want you to take a look at some video that we captured this afternoon, and you can see that officers did arrive at the scene very quickly. And they told us that a boy was hit and he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. He's in the hospital right now, and the school's principal says the student was struck by a slow-moving truck, and witnesses say it was a pickup. The boy was alert and conscious as the ambulance arrived, and a witness tells me it looked like he may have suffered a broken leg, but that has not been confirmed. It does not appear that excessive speed is a factor here, but one man who lives on Addison Road and heard the crash says folks do tend to drive too quickly on that street, especially during school hours.
When they come back from work, there's many cars that come up flying up this road. And 11 and 12 and 1 o'clock, the people that go through the stop sign.
Now, we do want to stress, though, that it does appear that this driver did the right thing. Witnesses say he stopped immediately and, again, it was a slow-moving truck before that collision, we're told by the principal. So again, at this point, it appears that the driver did all the right things. And again, the good news is this boy is expected to be okay. Witnesses say it was a 7th grader. Reporting live in Glastonbury, I'm Roger Suzanin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Roger, thank you. More developing news now. Do you have a Yahoo account? Turns out you could be directly affected by one of the largest cybersecurity breaches ever. Channel 3's Mark Zinni is here now with what we all need to know tonight. Mark.
Dennis, good evening. You know, according to Yahoo, data associated with at least 500 million. 500 million user accounts has been stolen. We're just learning about this today, even though that breach likely happened back in 2014. Now, the company believes a state-sponsored actor was behind the data breach, meaning an individual likely acting on behalf of an unknown government. The stolen information may include names, email addresses, phone numbers, dates of birth, your password and security questions, even the answers. Reports of a breach first came out in August when a hacker claiming to be selling data from 200 million Yahoo users. But nearly 2 months later, we're now learning that it turns out the situation is actually much worse than first thought. So what should you do tonight? If you are a Yahoo user, you're being told to change your password and those security questions and review your account for any suspicious activity. Mark Zinni, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, it's autumn. The fall season officially arrived at 10:21 this morning, but it sure didn't feel like fall today. Look at the temperatures we have in the state right now. It's more like what you would see in June, July, and August with readings in the low and mid-80s right now. Lakeville is 82. That's in the northwestern part of the state. Even there, it's in the low 80s. Farmington is 84. Cromwell 83 and West Haven 80. But notice the humidity is low. In fact, dew points across the state right now are mostly in the 40s and 50s. So it's a nice dry warmth out there. We have barely a cloud in the sky. We do have clouds off to our south and some showers too. Still the remnants of Julia spinning around across the mid-Atlantic states, and off to our north and west. We have a cold front that's approaching from the northwest that could bring a few showers and thunderstorms around this time tomorrow, but it certainly is not going to be the kind of a widespread rainfall that we really need. But it will bring a drop in temperatures as we go into the first weekend of the autumn season. So for tonight, a mainly clear sky, some patchy fog possible in the pre-dawn hours, and not quite as cool as last night. We'll see lows in the 50s and lower 60s in some of the larger cities. One more warm day before the crisp autumn air arrives. We'll talk about that, what it means for your weekend, in the forecast in 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Bruce. To Meriden now, where police want your help to track down a possible sexual assault suspect. Take a good look at this photo here. Police say this man inappropriately touched a 14-year-old girl outside a barbershop on West Main Street back in July. They say when he spoke to the girl, he had a heavy Latin or Spanish accent. If you recognize him or have any information, you're urged to call Meriden Police. And we have breaking news just in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Prosecutors have just announced the officer who shot and killed a black man last Friday will be charged with manslaughter. Officer Betty Shelby shot Terrence Crutcher. Video shows Crutcher had his hands in the air before he was shot, but Officer Shelby's attorney says the man did not follow her commands and she felt threatened. Police say PCP was found inside the car.
Developing news now in Charlotte, North Carolina, where police are preparing for what could be a third night of violent protests. Several civilians and 2 police officers were injured last night after peaceful protests gave way to looting and violence. Channel 3's Kenneth Craig is in Charlotte for us tonight.
After watching a peaceful protest spiral out of control in downtown Charlotte, authorities are hoping the National Guard and Highway Patrol will maintain order tonight.
We have a full complement of our civil emergency unit ready to continue working to prevent violent crime.
Wednesday's violent protests left businesses damaged and looted. 2 officers and 9 civilians were injured. A civilian was shot in the head and is now fighting for his life, but it is not clear who shot him.
We're reviewing video, and we're assessing our people who were there as well, because an allegation was made that one of our officers might have been involved.
The violence followed Tuesday's fatal police shooting of Keith Scott, a 43-year-old black man who officers say refused to put down his gun. Scott's family and witnesses say he was holding a book.
Police said they will show body camera video of the incident to Scott's family, but even after several nights of violence and even property damage, they have ruled out a public release.
There must be transparency, and the videos must be released.
Quintrell Burrell is in Charlotte for a church revival. He's worried about more violence tonight.
People want answers, and because there have been no answers, I don't think there'll be an end.
The city says it's ready. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Charlotte, North Carolina.
A Middletown mother under arrest for locking her son out of their home. Why she told police she did it next.
So then I told the mother to push, and here comes this bundle of joy.
A special delivery for the second time in just 5 days. We'll introduce you to some Hartford firefighters who are going above and beyond.
And then at 5:30, it was the first stop on our journey through 20 towns in 20 days. And tonight, a local soup kitchen is expanding their operations thanks to a little help from friends at Channel 3.
Connecticut's most watched local news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News.